And personally, I think that reading is a great way because welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about learning how to learn. Now, this is something I find interesting that we never really learned how to learn. We just kind of were taught things. At least this was my experience and my viewpoint in school. I don't really even know the best methods. I just remember a couple of teachers would tell us to do flashcards. Others would tell us to just memorize key phrases, read over the definitions. I guess flashcards comes in handy for that too. Read the chapter, reread the chapter, maybe highlight in your book if you could. Although most of us used rentals for books, so like you couldn't even really write in the book. And so for me in college and in high school, I feel like most of the time I would personally memorize, reread the chapter, like try to take some notes and do a study guide just to pass the test. And honestly, I think I would forget pretty much everything, like 90% of it, within a few days of taking the test and passing it. If I passed, of course, I didn't pass every single test. But now that I actually want to learn and improve, I feel like I'm working on getting better at learning overall. And I'm kind of learning how to learn. I honestly should probably watch a few videos on this. I think I actually have before. And also a book called Limitless by Jim Quick does dive into some tips on improving your memorization skills and using certain tactics to strengthen your memory and ability to recall information. And Jim Quick, if you don't know him, he's a super smart dude. I think he's the kind of guy who can like read a credit card in 2 seconds and then recite the numbers forward and backward on stage. That kind of person, if you've ever seen these crazy memory experts that are so good at coming up with tactics, I guess, or maybe just strategies, if that's a different word for it, where they can easily remember and recall information at an incredible pace, whereas most of us tend to forget people's names the second they tell us. It's just funny how we just don't practice or work on memory, and that's why our brain is a muscle. If we're not working it out, we're going to have a hard time coming up with these kinds of things that Jim Quick does. So personally, I've been using Asana. I've mentioned this before. This is a tool. It's a project management tool. And I'm actually using that to track everything that I do and to even go through courses effectively. And so I just wanted to share my screen real quick. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can check it out and maybe you'll draw some inspiration or nuggets from this. And if you're listening on podcast, no worries. If you want to check this out, feel free to go over to YouTube. But let me just quickly pull this up. Boom. So I have this thing, Life Automation Academy. It's a domain name that I bought, but then I ultimately decided I'm just going to put this on chrisbello.com. So if you go to chrisbello.com/free, you get access to the free scorecard, as well as a training that I do, Life by Design training. If you're interested in attending that, I have been doing those live lately as of this recording. So this is a different Asana that I don't actively use right now, but I did go ahead and put all my ideas for this Life Automation Academy within this board. So you can kind of see here, Miles Beckler is a guy that I look up to. I've listened to his podcast a lot. I actually met him at a conference in 2018, Affiliate Summit West in Las Vegas, him and his wife, Melody Beckler. They're a really cool couple, power couple. Lots of helpful content. They are crushing it in their businesses and everything that they do online. They've been at it for quite some time. And so I just wanted to give Miles a shout out because I have been binging his content. I have been a student of his for some time and kind of a fanboy in a way. I think he has close to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube at this point. So I have been going through his free course and, I don't want to distract you or pull you away. And obviously I want you to go through my products and my funnels and my email lists. But if you are going to check out someone who knows his stuff about marketing and SEO, definitely go check it out. milesbeckler.com/free-course, I believe, is how you can get access to this free course that I went through. But in terms of this video, this is the example I want to share. I had his course right here in one of the columns of Asana, and this is in the board view. You can also do list view. Personally, I like the visual of the board view. And I went through his course and I kind of made these little buckets so that I can organize my thoughts a little bit better. So this first one is Aweber email marketing automation. The next one, setting up core WordPress pages. The next section, do-it-yourself sales funnel YouTube video. And the way that I do this, you can kind of see these are all checked off so I can visually see that they are done. There's options in Asana where you can only show incomplete tasks, but personally, see right here, now it's only showing the stuff that's incomplete, which for me, it makes it seem like, gosh, I have so much left to go. I personally like to see all the tasks because I can visually see the things that have been checked off, and it does feel good to look at that and be like, yeah, I checked off quite a bit. Look, I did a lot. And the way that I organize this is, let's click into one of these sections. If I click into Aweber email marketing automation, he may have a YouTube video or a blog post that I want to refer to. And in the description here, you can see here, I've got a YouTube video and I do have a free landing page website that Miles recommends. So I can click into these things and open them, and I can easily access them. So there we go. I've got the YouTube video, and I also have this landing page builder that he recommends through Aweber. And of course, it is an affiliate link. It is something that if I choose to sign up for, because I found it helpful from learning from him, he will get paid a commission, which I did use his links to kind of thank him for putting out all this amazing free content. And that's what I do with you as well. If you go to chrisbello.com/resources, those are all resources that I recommend. And most of them are affiliate links where I will get a small commission at no extra charge to you, just for sending you to that provider. But this is how I have been learning. You can see all the modules that I've gone through. I haven't done the Pinterest marketing course just yet because I feel like, I don't have a Pinterest. I do have a Pinterest account, but I haven't really used it. I don't want to get into it really. I don't want to learn about it just now. The conclusion module, I haven't finished that just yet. I am finishing some of these videos in here just to knock that out. And let me open up in a second. Let me open up my other Asana board just to give you more ideas. So I went ahead and created another one. I do have a folder and a bookmark called Learning. Under that, I have the Asana board with all my learning stuff. So here's my self-development. I'm in a coaching group with a guy named Tony Watley. I've had him on the show before. And so we do coaching calls. I actually just had one yesterday. So I can even update this right here for you. That was on the 8th of March. And I'm just going to add that and check it off to show that I did it. I have some questions that I'd like to ask the business coach that I have not just yet. So I can easily track, okay, my self-development. I've been to all these coaching calls. I've been to all these Arate calls, another group that I'm a part of. Here's live events that are coming up. I'm going to a podcast conference in Dallas in August. So that's going to remain unchecked until I do go. I have YouTube videos that I want to watch, such as an Alex Hormozi keynote, Frank Kern core influence talk. That was one that I recently talked about on my show. And of course, it was on my to-dos. And then Carrot is a real estate company. I do have a site through them, great for search engine optimization and all those kinds of things. And then on the very right, I have all these other courses that Miles Beckler had kind of recommended with affiliate links. I assume these are also affiliate links of his, but they are courses that he highly recommends. And because I know, like, and trust him in a way from listening to so much content, I do trust the recommendations he has made. I do realize that I know what I need to do more or less. So these may be distractions at the moment, but if I could pick up some nuggets, I am willing and able to actually learn and go through those eventually. So right now I'm trying to kind of chunk it down and go through some YouTube videos, finish those last few videos for Miles Beckler's free course. And then maybe next I'm going to say, okay, the art of email. I need to get better at email. Let's go to this link. Okay, I can click into it. I can click on the link. And we can go there and then I can check it out and sign up for it and maybe pay for it if it's a paid training. So you can see there's a whole lot of different things on this screen. But the cool thing is, like the Frank Kern core influence talk, when I click into it, the way I have it set up, I personally have the YouTube video and then I have my notes in Google Docs so that here it's all easily accessible. Let's say that right now I decide, I've got some time. I want to spend about an hour going through the core influence talk, which is about a 2-hour video. I can click on the video, it'll open to the last save section I was in. I can click on my Google Docs, and at the very end of my Google Docs sheet, I'll just open it up for you if you're watching on YouTube. You can see some of the notes that I have taken, things that are really good takeaways. I'll just type them out real quick. I may even do screenshots. If you do the snipping tool, that's a very easy way. And I'm not trying to copyright. I'm not trying to just copy and paste this and share it and act like it's my own. These are just my own notes. If you use the snipping tool like I have here, quick example, I can click new and I can literally take a little snippet and it's a picture. So that is a quick hack. If I scroll down here, you can see some of the screenshots I have taken from the core influence talk, which had slides on the Frank Kern conversation. So here you can see this, meet Bob, and I have some notes. Okay, he's 45 years old, sells insurance, married with 2 kids who drive him crazy. He's talking about the avatar when he was initially just trying to make money. And then at the very bottom here, we're talking about, okay, his life, he had much better. Okay, he's got all these different things. Like I didn't want to type it all out and he was moving pretty fast, but I do want to kind of refer to it. So I did take a screenshot. So that is how I take my notes. Here's one more little tip or tidbit for you if you're interested. At the very end of my Google Doc, I type in stopping at blank. So let's say it's a 2-hour video and I only have 30 minutes right now to go through it. Even though YouTube is probably going to save my spot, I'm going to still put stopping at 34:01 minute mark. Like I will literally put that in for myself so that the next time I come to Asana, open up Google Sheets, refer to the YouTube video, I can confirm, okay, I was at the 34-minute mark. Let's pull up the video. Usually it pulls up at your saved spot. Sometimes if you open it up in a different account or browser, it may not, it may reset. Things get weird sometimes. So now you have an easy way of knowing, okay, cool, let's go back to minute 34, start the video, open up my notes, let's continue on. So that has been my strategy lately for learning how to learn. And you got to figure out what works for you. You know, if you are visual, you may like to watch a video, look at the screen, see the slideshow if there are slides. Maybe you're always on the go. You prefer to listen to audio, podcasts, audiobooks. Maybe you're visual. Maybe you want to read. Maybe you want to read and listen to the audiobook at the same time just to make sure it really sticks. And so personally, I think you have to really tune into your preferred method of learning and what works best for you. And you can try different things out, you know, read a blog post, watch a YouTube video, listen to a podcast or audiobook and see which one do you retain the best. For me, I do listen to audiobooks, I do listen to podcasts, but I also love reading. I've got a stack of books. I've got a full bookshelf that continues to grow by the day. I keep ordering more books than I can even read, and I read 2 or 3 at the same time. And personally, I think that reading is a great way because you get to touch the book, you get to flip the pages, you can highlight, take notes in there, and really retain the information. Whereas when you're listening to stuff, you tend to be multitasking, doing too many things at once. Maybe you're working out or kind of someone's talking to you, you got one headphone in, one headphone out, and you're having a conversation while it's still playing. You're not going to retain that information as well as if you're sitting there absorbing it, spending time focused 100% on the book. But again, it's up to you. You get to decide what you want to do. And one more shout out for Miles Beckler. Something that he talks about in his podcast in terms of learning is a 3-step process. Learn, do, teach. So I'm going to say this again. Learn, do, teach. So we learn something and then we do it to become proficient and become very good at it. And then when we solidify that knowledge, when we actually teach others. And I have said before, when you teach someone, you learn twice. So I love that concept, learn, do, teach, and make sure to pay attention once again to how you best learn, tune into what works best. And you got to experiment every now and then, because honestly, I don't think any of us really learn how to learn. We are just told what to know. We kind of figure out what works for us. I would take notes in different colors and scribble almost every single word, whereas apparently you're not supposed to write everything word for word. It actually helps to write the key things that matter most, and less is more. The less you can write, make sure that it's more meaningful and impactful, that you are writing the right things, that you were pointing out the most important snippets from whatever talk or video that you're watching. I think Alex Ramosi might have said this, or Dan Fleischman, I can't remember exactly who, but somebody that I was watching one of their videos or listening to a podcast was saying that they initially used to write down everything in a presentation word for word as fast as they could. You see people all the time take out their phone, they're taking pictures of the slides. They want to capture everything, even though they're probably not even going to refer back to it. But instead of writing everything word for word and writing out 5 pages from one speaker, what would happen if you just took the time to write out the 3 or 4 key ideas or thoughts from that talk that really were profound for you? You'd be more likely to actually review that and to implement it than if you had like 10 pages of notes and you're like, it's too much to read, I'm just going to read it later. And you put that notebook aside to make room for a new notebook because you just ran out of pages. So think about that as well. Just make sure to write down and highlight the things that matter the most that you can actually implement today. Because ultimately, if you listen to a podcast, listen to an audiobook, listen to a book, if you just take one idea away and implement it, and that idea gets you to the next level or helps you have a breakthrough, it was absolutely worth it. If you have a bunch of ideas written down in your notebook and you do nothing with it, then it arguably wasn't worth it, because ideas are nothing without execution. So remember that as you go about your day, as you go about learning. And I hope you enjoyed this episode on learning how to learn again. I'm still figuring out what works best for me. How do I best absorb the information? How do I best retain the information? And so I think it could be helpful for you if you just watch a couple videos on YouTube, whatever it is that you want to improve. If you want to read faster, if you want to learn how to learn better, if you want to learn how to take notes better, there are videos on all of these topics that can give you some good nuggets and ideas. But of course, at the end of the day, experimentation goes a long way. Try different things out, see what works. Flashcards, great. Taking notes, highlighting in your book, writing in the margins, all those things can work. And all of those things will make an impact in terms of helping you remember things. But remember, again, learn, do, teach. I love that concept as well. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for your time, and I will catch you on the next episode of Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to do that now. I release 2 videos every single week. I've honestly been wondering if I should change it to 1. So if you are enjoying these, comment below in YouTube. Let me know if you want to see 2 videos a week, if you want me to cut it down to 1, like whatever you prefer. I'm trying to do what my audience gets the most value out of. And with that said, I'm signing off. I will catch you on the next one.